What up, man?
Do you love motorcycles?
Sometimes. It's
How's it going, man?
going good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
You have a good day?
Yeah, 7 inches of snow.
What?
So, cleaning that off and then sledding with the kids and more cleaning and yeah, it's good.
That sounds like a fun day, man.
Yeah.
Dude, we haven't gotten any snow yet, so I'm jealous
So
of that.
you get a little bit of snow, right?
Usually, like once, we'll get something like maybe 3 to 7 inches max.
Okay.
Usually once by like the end of March.
And then what? It disappears real quick, right?
It all depends on how it gets set up. You know, like sometimes it'll last 3 to 4 days, or it'll just be like hanging around because it's been cold for 2 weeks straight or something, like because the ground's cold. But most of the time, it just rains, and then it's gone, and it's just nasty. It's just really
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah. I mean, I think the weather person was saying like this is the biggest storm we had in 2 years. It's been pretty weak.
Wow.
I
Okay.
mean, because we get dumped on. I mean, we get
Yeah.
some snow. I mean, we don't get crazy snow, but yeah, whatever. So
That's fun, man. I wouldn't mind seeing some snow. Dude, I've been finishing painting all day, man. Still doing it, but got most of it done. Yeah, cleaned up and ripped up everything off the floor and all the plastic. But it's just been a pain in the butt, dude. I'm so over it.
oh yeah, I man, every time my wife wants to change a color, I was like, oh,
Yep.
dude.
Yep.
I did that 10 years ago. It's fine.
Cool, man. So tonight I will be drinking a beer.
Oh, good for you, man. Nice.
You're almost
Yeah, I got a couple more days.
yeah, sweet, man. I'm
Can't
drinking
wait.
Hagen Dog, and it's a little heavy. It's an ice cream stout that my wife got.
Ooh,
So we'll see how it goes.
okay. What's the percentage on that?
The percentage on this, oh man, it's 8%. I didn't even look at it.
It's when you hit 8.1, 8.2, you get in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. You're good.
Yeah, cool, man. I think we have a pretty thick sode this these 2 episodes we got to shoot.
Yeah.
We got some beamers, some hardy questions. In other words, it's like you have some announcements to talk about.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me show you this, dude. Ready?
Yeah, I want to see it.
So here's the 3D printed part.
Okay, this is for the vapor hone gun.
It's for the vapor blast gun.
Vapor blast gun. Ooh.
Aluminum.
Mm-hmm. That looks sweet.
So still waiting on the other parts, but yeah, here it is, man.
Dude, that looks awesome.
Yeah, so it's gonna get anodized.
Okay.
Don't know which color yet. So that's that.
Sweet, man.
They'll be ready to ship mid-February.
Okay.
So
Those look sweet, dude.
I've been busy working on that and getting like a web store set up. I got a web developer helping me with that.
Cool.
And yeah, that's been
Cool,
keeping
man.
me busy. Yeah. So
you get a couple boxes of those just aluminum bodies, and you gotta kind of assemble them.
yeah. So, well, I ordered 50. These are just a few samples, off the setup of the machine.
Yeah.
And he's going to do it in the next few weeks.
Cool.
And then another vendor is making this part, the nut,
Okay.
and then the air jet. So these two are still, the black parts here are still FDM because I don't have the real parts yet.
Okay.
I should have those the first week of February.
Sweet, man.
So yeah.
I bet you're excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And it's going to be shipping all over the world. People from all over the freaking place are buying it, which is crazy.
That's
it's
awesome,
crazy.
Man.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, if you build something that's valuable, man.
Yeah.
And what people want.
Yeah.
They'll put money in your pocket. So I'm proud of you, dude.
Thank you, man.
Welcome, everybody, to the Broken Moto Show. Me, Cody from Motorcyclemd, and my buddy Matt from How to Motorcycle Repair, where we collaborate and go through a very specific email to help answer tech questions that you have about your motorcycle, small motor, anything you got. We'll pretty much read it and talk about it. Doesn't have to be it. Lately, we've been, I think the episode or two, we talked about a car, which I had nothing to know about, but we can help. Hopefully, try to, and we can just like to talk to each other, so you can like listen to us talk. So Matt, give them the email that they need to have in order to contact us.
Yeah. So if you have a tech question, you could submit it to askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. Put the year, make, and model in the subject, and be descriptive in the text of the email. Pictures, guys. We need pictures and videos because you guys have been lacking in that area. So send some stuff in because it definitely makes the show a little bit better when we can share some of that stuff.
Even if you, at the end of your email, you say, I have some pictures and videos to share, that's not good enough. You should just share them with us so that we can see them.
I have them somewhere.
Yeah, I have them if you want them. It's like, we do want them, so just send them.
Yeah.
I'll also add that we've become pretty professional at naming our email, dude. Remember the whole struggle we had for like 10 episodes and remembering what it was?
Yeah, we finally remembered it.
Yeah, we nailed it down. So last week we had a question. This was I haven't come up with a really clever name yet for our trivia time.
Okay.
But last week's question that we want you guys to kind of get involved in the comments. You don't win anything. This is not, for really anything helpful, but we think it'd be fun to get some feedback from you guys, get you guys kind of more engaged in the video. So last week's question I said, who other than, I'm going off the top of my head, who other than Honda and Suzuki,
produced cars?
Yeah. No, it was what car manufacturer other than Honda and Suzuki also produced motorcycles?
Oh, okay.
For a short stint. And the answer to that is actually, I believe Dodge made a couple of bikes. They made
really?
Like 500. Yeah. I'll send you some pictures, and hopefully I remember that name was correct. But I read that Dodge actually made some motorcycles. So I'll send you some pictures of some of the bikes that they did make.
Man, never knew that. Never seen them or heard of them. So
me neither. So, do you have a question for this week, Matt? Or you want me to do my question?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I have one.
Do it.
All right. So this is kind of a tech question. It's not like whatever, but I didn't get time to look it up, so I just knew this off the top of my head. In the 80s, Suzuki used a system called the SACS, SACS. What does that abbreviation stand for, and what does it do?
That's a good question. You said SACS?
SACS is the acronym.
Okay.
Very
good. Guys, fire away. Fire away in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Cool. So, on to question 1. We have to get through these. We have a lot. We have a full docket.
Yeah, 4 per episode.
Yeah, man.
Some of them might be quick, but let me just take the first one here. You ready?
Do it.
All right. The first question is from Teddy. I got a 99 Harley Electra Glide Ultra Classic 88 cubic inch. And I believe this model's EFI, fuel injection. Okay. I looked it up. What can I do to increase my power? Already changed to slip-ons, so he changed the exhaust.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it depends how much power you want and how much money do you have.
Yeah.
That ultimately that's it. So obviously, so you need some kind of goal, right? I think this thing has like 68 horsepower stock or something like that, or whatever it is. So what number do you want? If you want 100 if you want 100 horsepower, then that's going to change my answer here. But ultimately, you need to get more air into the engine and air out. Air in, air out is how power gets made, right? Because then you get the fuel to match. So I'm just going to ramble off a few things. I mean, obviously you can get an EFI tuner for it. That would probably wake it up a little bit. I don't know if it has the stock intake or not, but okay. I know how you feel about those things, Cody, but anyway, you can do something like that. You could do cams on that motor. You can do a big bore kit, different heads. I mean, dude, there's all kinds of stuff for Harley. So
doesn't Harley sell like their own like not tune up, but own like
performance stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Screaming Eagle stuff, I believe.
Okay.
I think that's their whole.
I'm sure they sell some stuff for that bike. It may be harder to find because of the year. Now we're talking 21 years ago. It's just crazy to think, you know, from 99. They may be a little bit more difficult to find, but I mean, that's the cool thing about that I always found fascinating with Harley was like they have a great business model because you can buy the baseline bike, but then it's like, hey, you can also spend like another 20 grand and we'll put some cams in it, some exhaust in it.
Oh yeah.
You know, and like beef it up a little bit. But so you're saying that it is EFI, so I totally agree with you on the tuner. It's likely gonna change either the fuel injection, like, you know, the dwell and how long it stays open and all that stuff, and maybe even do some stuff with the timing of the ignition or something like that. But I wouldn't, it may not just be a plug and go thing, Teddy. You might just want to take it to a dyno. Once you have that part installed, take it there, then they can actually take it to someone who knows Harleys.
Yeah.
And they might be able to beef it up a little bit. But even then, I mean, without spending a lot of money, you know, thousands of dollars even, you're not going to see too much change without changing big parts, you know, big parts like Matt said, cylinder, cams. You can get as much air in as you possibly can, like you said, and get the mapping, and that might make all the difference in the world for you. Or you could drop like, I don't know how much you weigh, Teddy, but you could drop like maybe 50, 60 pounds, and then maybe drop some weight off the bike, and then you might pick up and go.
leave your old lady at home.
That's right, man. Take the sissy bar off the back. You know, do all those things to lighten things up. You'd be surprised at how nimble she becomes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very broad question, but
yeah,
ultimately, I mean, but with Harley stuff, there's tons of aftermarket.
Yeah.
How deep do you want to go?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
cool. Good talk, Teddy. Thanks for the question. So it is now time to talk about the beer fund.
Yeah,
which we have
some serious
little information about what the beer fund is, Matt.
Yeah. So the beer fund is, if you enjoy the show and you want to just support us a little bit, you can donate $3 plus to our beer fund, and the link is in the video description. And we got a bunch of people that donated this week, so we want to shout them out. So let's do that. We got Justo. And we got Joy. I think that's how I pronounce it, right?
I like that.
All right. We got the Fitz.
The Fitz.
KJ in Pittsburgh.
Thanks, KJ.
And we got Paul, which is AICD 99. Acid 99, maybe? No, Ace.
Maybe that's his handle on Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Paul. And we got Justo again. And we got the Fitz again. So thank you guys. That's awesome. I really appreciate it.
You guys are champions, man. Yeah. Seriously, thank you guys. Big time. It buys beer. I get to try out weird ice cream stouts, which I will rate this one at a good 6.7. 6.7 out of 10.
Well, cheers, Cody.
Yeah, cheers. Bink. And cheers to all you guys slinging wrenches in the garage, throwing us some bones. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So on to question number 2. So we got Mike from Whittier. Whittier?
That's Whittier,
California.
Yep. Hey
guys, really dig the show, and some of the bikes are pretty sweet that you can get questions about. I don't have pictures yet, but I'm being handed down a 1988 Honda V65 Magna to go through and get running. Love the V-twin. My question is, with the V-twin, there's twin carbs. Are there any tricks to timing and cleaning them? I'm very excited about this project. It was my grandpa's bike, awesome. Then my uncle's, even better. Now it's coming to Mike's shop of no lost cause. I guess that's what he calls his garage. Thank you very much for any help or advice you can provide. Mike, congratulations on your 88 V65 Magna. Those can be some pretty sweet bikes if they're in good shape. But I will state 2 facts about this bike. 1, it's not a V-twin. This is actually a V4. So there's not 2 carbs, but there's 4 carbs. Okay, because he stated, love the V-twin, there's twin carbs, but there's actually 4. So, which now doubles your work. These are, depending on what kind of shape it's in, these can be very, very troubling, just because of the way that the system works. It's very, very difficult to get good parts for these things. Okay, the stock exhaust chamber that runs underneath the bike, very hard to find one that's not blown out, and like the stuff inside of that catalytic converter underneath the bike, it looks like a big, like, like those on the beach. You're near a beach, right? Oh, you're not near like an ocean.
No, Chicago has beaches.
Okay, so shark eggs are like these black things. If you find them on the beach, they look really like sinister.
No shark eggs here, but
okay.
But
anyways, it's like an H pipe, and inside of that canister, they can rust out, and then they start to rattle around. They're really expensive and hard to find. If you're gonna find one, you're gonna spend over $300 for it. Regardless, 4 carburetors. It's a big job. Okay. I do have a V4 carb cleaning tutorial, masterclass, as one would say, but it's on the newer model, right? So, which is slightly different, but it can be used, obviously, because it's still the same. They're all kind of butted together weirdly. So, I mean, any advice for them? I would say that it's going to be, if you can find factory Honda parts for the carburetors, get them. Don't go cheap on the carburetor stuff, because when you go in something that's this involved, those 4 carburetors, you don't want to put cheap stuff in there just to make things work, right? Because they have lots of fuel joints, they have lots of different O-rings in there, and if you just take them out, clean them out without splitting them and putting them back in, you're wasting your time, right? So get quality stuff if you can get it off eBay from a Honda dealership. That would be my advice, is just don't skimp on the parts that you're putting into it. These had a radiator system that like ran through the left side of the frame, which is kind of weird. They can rust out in some cases because people just add water to them and then it rusts the frame out, so it really all depends on what kind of situation and the look of what this bike is. I'm not sure if this is one of the models that had like a separate tank. Like a lot of, like, Honda did some crazy stuff in the 80s where they had like the gas tank had a little bit of fuel in it, but then they like ran that to an external tank underneath the seat. And then those tanks underneath the seats, you cannot get them anywhere. It's like gold for these Magnas. So if that's the type of model it is, just be careful, double check to make sure that it's going to be worth your time and money to clean it out. If the tank's dirty, clean it. If it has the secondary tank, clean it. I have lots of charging videos on this one, actually on this specific bike. It may not be an 88, but it's a V65, gorgeous condition. If you go back through my videos on YouTube, I have one. I do like a regulator check, charging system check, all based on this bike, which might be helpful for them. So any advice that you have, Matt?
Does this model, all the fuel joints, the T's and all that, are they plastic or metal?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Okay. Some they might be aluminum, but they changed it from year to year. Like 86 might have plastic, the other one might have metal. But usually, like the long T joints are plastic.
Now the is there like a metal plate that holds all 4 carbs together on top of them? Okay. Mm-hmm. So my only advice is leave that metal plate on. Yeah. When you pop them off. Because here's what I did. on some kind of Honda, like when I was 18 working at a shop. I took that plate off, and all the 4 carbs, you know, I was popping them out with a pry bar or whatever, or just popping them out, and it went and it cracked the plastic fuel joints. Couldn't find the fuel joints, man.
Yeah.
Unobtainable.
Yep.
So when you're removing that, make sure you're not flexing the crap out of the carbs, because it stresses the joints big time. So that's the only thing I can add.
That was good. I like that. That was good. I think you have to like drop the radiator down on these to like just to get some room to get them back out, and they're just a monster to deal with. But good luck to you, Mike.
Doesn't sound fun, man, to be honest.
It doesn't. Yeah. It'd be better if parts were available, but that's just not the case anymore. Cool.
Gotcha.
So, question 3, Matt, hit it up.
All right. Let's see here. All right. This one's from Aaron from at 111 Motorsports. Hey, Matt, your content has helped me a lot. I have a small cycle repair shop at home. Awesome. I'm an MMI grad with 3.5 years experience working in a dealership. Working in a dealership, I pretty much just replaced parts. I found that I needed some refresher training. My question is, do you have any advice for tooling the cut and lap valves? I also a good refresher lesson on the subject. I've been sending my heads out to a local performance shop to get the seats cut and valves lapped. I would like to do this in-house to cut costs. Thanks, Aaron. So I don't deal with any machine work whatsoever here at home or whatever. It's just way too expensive and takes up way too much room. So I guess it depends on like what types of motorcycles you work on, and then that would determine what kind of machine you should get. Like for instance, all the 4-stroke motocross bikes, all these performance shops are using a Surdy machine to cut all the seats and stuff like that. That or a Rottler, I believe, is another name.
Okay.
So I have zero experience with any of that. If I ever need machine work done, I just send it out, and it's usually just a couple times a year, so it's not worth me getting into that or anything. So
right.
How about you, Cody?
What I was gonna say is I'm gonna call this guy out first of all for being sorry, I had to rhyme that real quick. Sorry, I was looking up the company name for valve cutting seats that are usually in most motorcycle dealerships that don't have like machines. But Aaron,
you're talking like manual cutters?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I came across one.
New Way is the most popular one.
Okay.
It's been around for decades. I mean, since like the 70s, 60s. New Way cutting tools is what like Honda dealerships would have.
Okay.
But Aaron, my dude, graduated from MMI. I'm not sure what courses you took, but I know what courses you did take preliminary to the brands that you went into. So, and you and I both know that they had courses on this kind of stuff. And hopefully you kept all of your stuff, like all of your paperwork and all of your documents, because you like 12 years into the industry, I still thoroughly enjoy going back through some of that stuff to like quick refresher, or if I want to bring up a new topic, of content, and I know the subject, I know what it entails, but I need like a little bit more information on it. They had that information is like never going to end. It's timeless information that MMI gave you in paperwork. I would suggest going back to that. I don't think we cut seats in class, but we had like a boring honing thing where we removed guides and bored cylinders and did a bunch of cool stuff. But you got the gist of it. The best thing that I would tell you to do, man, is to buy some crappy heads. And like I was just saying, New Way is like a really, really, really good company for seat cutting. And with information that you may learn from YouTube, because someone's got something out there, Matt that doesn't seem to have any. I definitely don't have any. You can jack up a different head, instead of the one that you're working on, and learn. Because I think that the gist of what it takes to seal a valve to a seat, to get proper cutting form, to get the angles down, and New Way has all those cutters for you. I think you can learn from it. I have confidence in you, Aaron, since you did go to MMI. I think very highly of most people who go there. If they didn't think it was stupid or a waste of time, then they're usually pretty smart with what they're doing. So that's my 2 cents.
So New Way is all manual cutting.
It is. So they have like a reamer that goes into the valve guide, and you run the die or the cutter on top of that, and it has they'll have 35, 45, 65 angle.
Yeah.
And then you run that on top of it, and you just manually cut it until it's good. It's a trial and error. It's not like a machine where it's and it's off, and a new one and it's off, and it's a new one. But you just do it by hand, and you can measure the little angles with the little tool and get all that stuff, and just make sure that the valve seat afterwards.
Yeah. So is that acceptable for a high performance application, or these crazy motocross bikes that run titanium valves and they're like super critical?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I don't see why it wouldn't be acceptable. I mean, the only thing that is separating, like a super high performance valve job compared to like a quality technician doing it is like either the amount of angles that they're hitting on the seat.
Yeah.
Because like you can have like an Indy car that has like 12 angle valve job, dude. So it's like 35, 32, 30, 31. And it's like the valve seat's just like, butter. But most motorcycles, high quality stuff is going to be like a 3 angle to 4 angle valve job.
Right.
All you're worried about is the contact patch that's really contacting the seat. The rest of it's going to be all around it, if you think of it in that sense. But yeah, absolutely. The New Way cutters and the application of that, I wouldn't shy away from. And now, like, if you're doing like big valves, like really opening it up, you're not going to get anywhere with which I don't think that you would with like a New Way cutter. New Way cutters for like resurfacing. You know what I'm saying? Like some people do like a big valve kit, and you have to really, really cut those things to get them right. Yeah. That's where I would say that you would need experience if you wanted to manually cut them.
Yeah. Now, what if you got to replace the seats? I mean, you're going to need some machinery to go in there.
Correct.
And cut out the seats.
It's a different story. Yeah.
And press in new ones and all that stuff. So
yeah, that's a machine shop. In most dealerships, they're just going to replace the head.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really any way to go about like to work around that.
Right.
There's just some people, you got to find someone who specializes in it.
Sure.
Yeah. Good?
Yep. Yeah, we're good on that one, man.
All right. Question 4. The smoking 1977 KZ650 guy. Watching your answers to my question about my smoking. Wait, I watched your answers to my question about my smoking Kawasaki last night. Awesome. It all makes sense. When I mentioned the idle screws, I meant the 4 mixture screws. Sorry, my bad. Doesn't change things up much in any event, so I'm going to check the sync and then likely re-ring it and lap the valves. Love your show. Hopefully I can pull the top end without having to pull the motor. Now, if I can start things up a little bit. You have both done float level videos, but if I am not mistaken, Matt shows the carb on its back with the full weight of the float on the needle when taking the height measurement. But Cody, I believe you hold it on its side and measure just as soon as the float rocks and contacts the needle. Is this actually a big deal? When it comes to setting floats on my bike, there is a ton of conflicting dimensional informational sorry. conflicting dimensional information from manual to manual and blog to blog. You guys do real service for the rest of us beer sampling garage dwellers. Take care, Mr. Bill from Hastings, Michigan. So I guess we can speak to the float thing. So the reason why I prefer to do the floats the way that I do them is because you can run into where on the float needle, the little spring tit can fail, right? So when that fails, now we're talking about maybe a 2-3 millimeter difference of float height. Is it making a huge deal? Probably not. Matt doing them with the weight of the floats on the float needle, it could be depressing that little tit if it's not in the best of shape, which would throw the float seat off, like I said, 1 to maybe 3 millimeters. May not make any difference. Matt could do a check like that with the full weight of the float. I could do a check where it's just lightly, as soon as it, boom, touches the seat, I make my adjustment. As far as runnability goes, you may not see any difference. As far as the way that the bike may leak on the left side stand, it could happen. I mean, it could. That's the only difference that we're talking about, is just a slight change in the height of the fuel. That's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, so I want to comment on the video I made. I totally forgot to talk about that tit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you technically should tip it a little bit so no weight is on that little tit. But in my case, for whatever reason in that video, I just did them horizontally.
Yeah.
But I did make a mental note to make sure they're not depressed.
Right.
But I forgot to mention it in the video for whatever reason, because I was, I don't know, half asleep or something.
Yeah, man, it happens. I mean, even then, if you're dealing with a float needle that does depress, like, I wouldn't say that calculating the weight of the float on the needle and it being able to depress with the weight of the float versus like if you got really into it and like the angle of what the carb is at and how long it takes for it to depress the thing. If it's bad, you'll know it's bad. It's very easy to tell because it can take no weight at all. And it's just like, feels like it's just nothing there. It may pop back up, but it's just very, very soft. And that's really just to keep the float needle in contact with the seat while the bike's doing this, right? So the whole carburetor system, the whole bike's shaking like crazy inside. You're not paying attention because you don't notice that it's happening, but the float's trying to stay closed or slightly open, and the tit gives it that that amount of error for it to stay closed or open. So it's not too big of a deal. Yeah.
And then you ever do like the clear tube method?
I've done it before, man. I'm not a huge fan of it just because like
so I do that if I'm trying to diagnose a problem.
Yeah.
More so than anything.
I agree with that.
Or if I don't have the float height spec, if you're working on some model and you don't have the service manual or it doesn't say, whatever reason, I will do that. Just to make sure. But
I know that some Kawasaki's, like I worked on like this stupid 4-wheeler from Kawasaki, like a Bayou or something. Drove me nuts because the carb was like under the gas tank, which is like a nightmare to get off. Anyways, but they do the tube like factory spec. Like they want you to have a tube outside of the carb to check the float height.
Okay.
Which I can't stand. It just requires so much more work to me to like feed the gas, hold the tube, and then I do all this stuff. It's like, oh, it's dumping out. Oh, raise the tube, lower the tube. And you're like dancing with it. But like, it bothered me because it was like, I felt like it was like a at your own discretion type measurement. It was like, it needs to be like this height off of this horizontal line from the way that the float bowl seats against the carb, and it's like this far. And I'm just like, dude, just give me a number, And I also don't think that every carb is going to function the same way. Like, I don't know, this is coming from my own ignorance of not knowing like the full spectrum of what the clear tube method does, but it seems like people are like basing it off of the line of where the float bowl hits the carb. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's usually like 1 to 2 millimeters underneath the gasket mating surface.
And that's like a generalization for all carburetors, right?
Right.
I just don't believe that that's always the case.
Yeah, it could be true.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's my only qualm with it. I mean, and I may be wrong. Like I said, this may be my own ignorance of just not knowing everything. It's like I just feel like every carb is different. Like they give different specs for different carbs all the time. So I don't want to, you know, a VT750 may have 12 millimeters versus a TRX 450, which is like 17.9. So it's like I don't want to like to say, oh, the clear tube method's going to work for both of them. You know what I mean?
right.
That's just my quorum with the whole clear tube method. I've seen it work, and some people swear by it. Like I said, Kawasaki uses it in their manuals, but I also don't agree with everything that Kawasaki does. So,
yeah. One more
Rant
thing.
over.
One more thing. I remember this question, and we were talking about, you know, what it could possibly be. I think we said, hey, what color is the oil, or what color is the smoke? And Bill didn't include it in this email. It would have been cool. Oh yeah, it's blue smoke, because that would have been. And then the compression values. I think we were hung up on what's the actual compression values, and those weren't included here either. So, Bill,
Absolutely.
Bill, come on, man.
Come on, Bill.
Send us the info.
Yeah, so he's it looks like he's just gonna go dive headfirst into putting some new piston rings on it and lapping the valves.
So I'm assuming it's blue smoke then, right?
Yeah, it's got to be oil, and that's what it seems like. Cool. Well, man, that wraps up the 4 questions. You got anything to plug, Matt? What you got going on, man?
Well, we talked about the blast gun, and then I think a few episodes ago I talked about a home business course.
Yeah.
That I'm coming out with, so I can teach people, you know, how I got started, how I run things. You know, nine years doing this. I think I'm almost done with it, to be honest with you, as far as shooting it and stuff. So, I don't know.
What do you mean by that? With the course.
Yeah, like the videos.
Gotcha.
And stuff. So
I thought you're like, I'm just about to just hang all this stuff up.
No, I mean, I got to edit a bunch and put some slides together and references, but I, you know, man, starting a small business at home here has been like a really good decision for me and for my family. And I'm sure for you as well, right? I'm sure there's tons of benefits on your side as well from doing what you do, right? So, you know, I just hope it helps somebody.
I think it will. I think it will. I mean, there's a lot of fear that goes into it, and you can get really into the details of, you know, algorithms and all this stuff. But if you just put out good content, stuff that people can use and need and value, then you're going to do well. And I think Matt can definitely show you guys how to do that. So
awesome. Thank you.
As I'm getting emails right now from people donating, this is pretty awesome.
Are you serious?
Notification. It's like someone donated to the beer fund.
Oh, no, nice. Man, I see it right here. Nice.
Nice. Whoever that is, probably Justo or.
I could look it up, but we'll have to save it till the next episode. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, because one of our shows just went live 45 minutes ago. So
yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
What about you, man? What are you working on?
The CB900F carb teardown video is out. That masterclass is now fully available to everybody. If you have a dual overhead cam 750 or any of the CB900s, the Fs, the Cs, or, you know, Hurricane 1100 or whatever they were, this is all. If you have a carburetor system that has the aluminum piston top, this carburetor class is for you. I just launched it. It's full walkthrough, ripping them out, putting them in. I actually just put the video out on removal to give people a taste of the glory, as they say, to see, you know, what all goes on inside of that course. But it's out, so you guys can have it. It's a great way to show me some support.
So like 80s, 650s have those types of carbs.
Aluminum top.
Yep.
Aluminum piston. It will help you. It will definitely help you.
Nice.
There may be some slight variations, but the fundamentals are all there.
Right.
Every carb video that I have, Matt, is like, as long as you follow the fundamentals of cleaning it, polishing it, checking the jets, doing this, like you can clean any carburetor.
Sure. Right.
But people want to have the ones that are like, oh, it's for my bike. It's for the 83, not the 86, you know, it's for all that. So that's what I try to deliver. But with all of them, man, you can do it. And I'm sure with yours the same way. If you just follow the fundamentals of what you got.
Absolutely.
You can do anything you want. So
yeah. And to add to that, and if I work on a new model, that's my first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have the fundamentals, you can go for it and fix it. You know, I mean,
very good point.
You know,
very good point. So that MOTOCYCLEmd is officially sponsored by Grip Clean. Matt, this is what I'm going to be sending you, brother. One of these.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
So how big is that, man? 32 ounce?
64.
Whoa.
Bro.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the Ultra. This is the lemon scent, which is my personal favorite from Grip Clean. Guys who don't know who Grip Clean is, they are a very, I would even classify them as being like an organic hand cleaner, where they're not using a bunch of harsh chemicals that dry your hands out. I'm sending Matt some of this stuff as well as the wipes that I've been promising him for years.
Nice.
So he can try them out. I know he already likes the hand cleaner, but he's going to get the Ultra stuff, which is amazing. I love it. It's great stuff. So if you guys want to try some stuff out yourself, they even have like dog shampoo.
Really?
I haven't tried it, but they got it. And these people were actually on Shark Tank. I don't know if you knew that, man.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so
that's
the dude
awesome.
Rides a wheelie through the hallway of Shark Tank.
Oh, really? Oh, I think I saw a commercial.
Yeah, the owner's like a 5-time MX rider, champion.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that show, by the way.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too. But
my family likes it too, so we watch it together. So,
dude, it's the best show. And I mean, especially if you own a business, you're like,
yeah,
that's a great business model. That's so smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, they have a lot of crap on there too for like people that are out of their minds, dude. Like,
oh yeah,
like their evaluations and their ideas, and you know, they have to have that on the show too, right? For views.
Who's your favorite out of the 4?
Oh man, that's tough. I kind of like Kevin just because he's
okay.
You know, Mr. Wonderful or whatever.
Yeah.
I follow him on YouTube and I watch some of his videos.
I'm a big of who?
No, I didn't say it. What?
You said that you watched some YouTube. Sorry, like you cut out and it was blank for a while and then cut back in with YouTube videos.
I follow Kevin on YouTube and he's got some videos.
Okay. I didn't know that.
I think that's like the only one I follow. I mean, I like them all, you know, obviously, but Kevin, he's just so blunt, dude. You know, he just tells
this
it how
is garbage. This is junk.
He's like, you're out of your mind. Yeah. So
I'm a big fan of Mark Cuban, man. I feel like if he goes in on anything, it's gonna make some money. And like, I mean, obviously they all, when they go in on stuff, they're always, you know, they're all great. But I feel like Mark Cuban has like just the witty, like this is either gonna work or it's not gonna work. And if he goes in, I'm like, that's gonna be a good company.
Nice.
I don't know what it is, but anyways, they are on Grip. Grip Clean is on Shark Tank, but it's like 3 or 4 people, man. It's like a really small business, and they're awesome. Like there's the girl who I deal with, Courtney, I believe is his wife. She's just super personable. She writes like handwritten notes and everything that you order, which I think is awesome. She's wrapping them, you know, it's just a really cool company. So shout out to them. And if you guys want to get 10% off of anything that you buy from them, use the code MOTOMD at checkout and get 10% off. Shout out to your boy. And I'll get a little bit of pennies thrown my way. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome, man.
Cool. That's all we got.
That's right, man.
That's it. Cool, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
All right.
What's the email? One more time.
Oh, yeah, the email. So the email is askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. If you got tech questions, just submit them there, and we'll eventually roll them into one of these shows. And pictures and videos, guys. We want to see some of those. So
that's it.
They help out.
Cool. Awesome. Later.
Take it easy. Bye.